don't you spend that time learning and improving yourself? Because I think that's what makes all the difference. That's what makes the difference between you and the person who's out there and not really evolving. If you know that your lifestyle right now, where you are in your life right now, is that it's not where you want to be 5, 10 years from now, do something about it. And that something is using your time wisely to learn, to grow, and develop and get better as a person. So that's really what's gonna help you. And it's okay, like I said, entertain yourself. That's all fine and dandy, but what are you doing for your entire day? After you spend all that time working, when you get home, how are you spending the rest of your day? Is what really matters. Now, here's what the rich does instead with their time. They spend their free time coming up with ideas. They create. They increase their knowledge by reading books, by listening to an audiobook, right? Which I think is something quite amazing, that you can really read an entire book or listen to an entire book in your car on your way to work. As you're driving, really, some people drive 30, 45 minutes, an hour. That time could be spent listening to audiobook. I think audiobook makes reading easier because some people may not have the discipline to sit and actually read a book, right? But when you're driving and actually listening to an audiobook, you are being informed, you are learning every time that you do that. And when you make it a habit, it's gonna come naturally. And the more audiobooks that you listen to, the better you get, because you're listening to concepts. You are learning new things, right? And when you're learning those things, you're not just learning, but you also want to implement them. You also want to pick up on ideas and concepts that really is going to prepare you for bigger and better for yourself. So rich people also spend their time managing their business or coming up with ideas to make more money. They are totally focused on putting in the work to get the results that they want. And that's how they got to where they are today, because they put in the work and they are reaping the benefits. When you put in the work, you see the benefits, you see the results. The results will come. So that's exactly what I want you to understand today. But maybe, just maybe, you are someone like myself who always want to be around people or connect with people and just don't like to be lonely. I want you to surround yourself with positive people, people who have a growth mindset that you can really learn from. Because ironically, the poor surround themselves with people like themselves, and the rich, or anyone with a rich mindset, will rather connect with others they can learn from. So that's what you need to be doing. If you want to have a growth mindset and you want to be a better version of yourself, be a better person, period, you are to surround yourself with people that you can learn from. As Jim Rohn said, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Now that is huge. If you are spending your time with 5 people, right, who have a poor mindset, you're never going to get out of that poor mentality. It's just obvious, because just how the 5 people around you think, that's exactly what your thinking is going to be. None of the people that surround you or yourself, none of you guys are ever going to say, you know what, let's do something different. Let's get better. Let's improve ourselves. Nobody's going to have that thought, because all of you guys think the same. Remember now, the bad always outweighs the good. So if one good person decide to change and they're in that group, the 4 or 5 others in that group are always going to overpower and intimidate or just put fear in that person and not help them to get out of that environment or out of that situation, because they're all comfortable there. So they're not going to help you get out. So if you want to get out and be different and do things differently, you might as well just excuse yourself. You don't have to make any announcements. You don't have to say nothing. Just find people who you want to be like, people who you see and see their lives, or see how they carry themselves or the things that they do, and you say, you know what, I like that. I want to emulate that. Go ahead, make friends with them, connect with them, and start talking to them more often and tapping into how they think, listening to them, hearing them out, and learning from them. That makes all the difference. That will distinguish you from those other people that you've been used to being around, because they are not helping you grow, but this new connection you're making is really going to make the difference between you and those other people. See, your free time And what you do with your free time will make all the difference between staying in poverty or achieving your financial freedom. Now, let's look at another thing that poor people do that rich people don't. Poor people use debt to acquire liabilities. I kind of touched on that earlier a little bit, but let's look at it a little further here. Poor people use debt to pay for what they want. They will go as far as borrowing money to get married. They pay these huge amounts to have this lavish wedding. Majority of the time, they're using credit cards to do that. And that's money that they don't have, that they're using. Because now that you're using a credit card, you have to pay back all that money. It's really money you don't have, you're using to impress people who really don't care. What good is that to you? For that instant gratification? For that in the moment happy feeling or feeling of a certain status? Trying to show off and please the people around you? Where does that get you? Nowhere. Because after that moment, the next month, the next year, the next 5 years, where are you going to be? You're going to be in debt. You're going to still be stuck living in that cycle of doing the same things over and over again. So let's not do that. I just look at that to be insane because there's so many other things you could really be doing than trying to please people. So many other things you could really be doing with that money from your credit card. So as far as starting a business, as far as investing in a property that's going to bring you financial wealth. Think outside the box. Think outside of instant gratification. Think future. Think financial stability. Think about those things instead of living in the moment all the time, because you can live in the moment, but how are you living in the moment? Are you living in the moment to impress others, or are you living in the moment to build yourself up? That's really what we need to be thinking about, because you can live in the moment and get to the next level, or you can choose to live in the moment and go backwards or be stagnant. So what option would you rather go with? What choice are you going to make living in the moment today? And another thing I like to look at is people using credit cards. Let's take, for example, say you have a home and you have TV, this huge TV in your living room. A lot of times people will use their credit cards to buy a TV for their room. Well, do you really need a TV in your room? Is that a need or a want? The TV is in the living room. You can watch that TV. Actually, matter of fact, the bedroom is really not a place to have TV. When you're in your bedroom, I believe that's a place that you need to relax. After a long day, after working, after doing all the things that you have to deal with on a daily basis, you want to come home, relax in your room, relax and unwind. We need to be able to get to a place where we can see things for what they are, versus us just subscribing to materialistic things that are waste of money. We're wasting money on the wrong things. We're spending money on things that are a liability. So what are you going to do? What choices are you going to make to elevate yourself? When you are in your bedroom, you want to have your notebook. Write down things that you're going to do the next day. Write down your plans for the week. Meditate, pray, read your Bible, read a book. Those are things that needs to be done in your bedroom or in your office at home. Not having a TV in your bedroom. No, I'm totally against that, because there is no value in that. I believe in things that are of value. Things that's going to bring you value, and it's going to just make you a better person. It's just going to help you in achieving your goals. Those are the kind of things that I think we should be subscribing to. Look at, for example, Apple, right? People subscribe to Apple. They are obsessed with the Apple company. And what's crazier to me is the fact that people are spending all this money buying the latest iPhone. Like, some people must have the latest iPhone that comes out every year. They are recycling their phones every year. Whatever new version of the iPhone comes out, they're getting it. But like I said, what's crazier to me is that majority of these people, they do not own anything in Apple. They do not own an ounce of Apple. If I'm going to spend that much money on Apple, I better have a share of that money coming back to me. I better have a share in that company. I think that would make the most logical sense financially, because if you're going to spend the money, you might as well buy into that company, so that that money you're spending, some of it is coming back to you, because now you're a part owner in that company. You own shares in that company. I personally, if that was the case, I wouldn't feel like I'm losing in a sense, because I know that I own a part of that company and I benefit both ways. I'm getting the phone, which I'm using right now for my daily use, right? But I'm also adding value to my financial portfolio, because as Apple grows, the more products Apple produces, the more money I make as well. That's what you call smart. That's what you call being financially smart. So I want you to think about that. If you are that kind of person who has to have the latest iPhone, consider buying a share in the company. Own a piece of that company so that when you're buying that product, you also feel good, because now you're getting two things. You're getting the product and you have a share in the company, right? So again, I think it's just a great financial nugget that I think you can benefit from, and it will really help you a great deal financially. See, the big difference between the rich and the poor is how they really use debt. The poor use debt to acquire liabilities, which I talked about a little bit earlier, while the rich really use debt to acquire assets to invest in, and investing in so many different avenues, because they want their money to keep growing. That's the whole idea. You want your money to keep making more money for you. So if you're not of that mindset, I want you to tap into that. Think about it, because what is really going to benefit you? Are liabilities going to benefit you, or assets going to benefit you? We already know the answer. The assets are better than liabilities, okay? So another thing that rich people do that poor people don't do ever is that poor people don't follow through on their commitments. See, people with a poor mindset will have so many ideas, but never act on it. And I would tell you right now, I've had so many experiences of that. I've sat in gatherings. I've had people so close to me that we've all had conversations about, hey, this great business idea. You know, I have this plan. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to invent this. I want to create this. But after that conversation, when we all leave and go to our various homes or go about our various businesses, life happens. Life takes over. And those ideas, those plans, never ever happen. They never ever come to life, because people just sit and talk and discuss these things but do nothing about it. And I tell people all the time, I say it's never your idea until you implement it. Do you know that a lot of people have the same ideas out there? Only the one that implement these ideas really matters, because you coming up with an idea and doing nothing about it doesn't mean anything. What really matters is your action. What action are you putting into it? What action are you putting behind that idea? What action are you putting behind that talk, right? Now, here's another thing to look at, when it comes to ideas. People are discussing these ideas with other people who really don't have the will or the means to make these things happen. Matter of fact, they don't have the belief that they can do it. So if you sit and talk to people of limiting belief and express your ideas with them, they're not going to help you. They're not going to help you manifest it or bring it to life, right? Because they don't believe in themselves and they don't believe in that idea as much as you do. So if you really have an idea and you want to make sure that idea comes to life, I will say go after it. Give it all you got, no matter what. You may not have all the resources that you need, but I say start small. Just start with whatever you have. Write down your plans, write down the vision, and you know what? Work on it. Little steps at a time. And the more you work on it, the better it gets. Because as you're working on it, you're learning in the process. As you're working on it, your dream, your vision is coming to life. And if you stick with it, it will become something big. And sometimes we don't think about it, but that's exactly what the greats did. Bill Gates, the Steve Jobs, all these great people that started something, it started small. It started from somewhere. It first started with an idea, and then they may have shared it with somebody who had similar belief system as they did, or who had other ideas as well. But when they came together, they were able to make it bigger and better. So you want to connect with people who see it for what it is. But we also have to remember, most times, not everybody going to see your vision the way you see it. So you have to believe in it so much that you can convince other people to believe it with you. And if they don't, that's okay. Just start it. Just get started. And I have another video here, which I'm going to link up here. So check it out. And that will really inform you and goes into more details about why we need to start things and not wait. Because waiting or procrastinating doesn't get us anywhere, right? But back to what we were. So we are not to procrastinate. We are not to make excuses for not doing what we're supposed to do, because procrastination and excuses doesn't get you anywhere. But when you procrastinate and make excuses, it leads to no action. And that's what we need to stay away from. It allows fear to creep in, and fear gets the final say. But is that what you want? No. We want to make sure that we are getting things done. And most times when people of a poor mindset have an idea and they get it started, it doesn't take long for them to quit. Once the simplest obstacle comes about, once things start to not go the way they want it to go, they drift. You see things start to fall apart. That business, that idea goes down the drain. During that period of time, I really want you to ask yourself, is this really a dream of mine? Is this something that I really believe in? Is it a passion, or was it something that I just thought about and I just wanted to ride away with it? No, we want to make sure that we're connecting to ideas, the things that can allow us to get to another level in our lives. Now, the rich, on the other hand, they are very serious and laser focused on completing a task they've started. People who have a growth mindset, people who are all about elevating and getting better, they don't start something and just stop. They don't start something and leave it and let it go. They want to own it. They want to take it and run with it, because they are truly connected to it and they have a vision of what they want to see come out of that. And until that can happen, they ain't going anywhere. They are stuck with it all the way until the end. They may face obstacles. They may have ups and downs, but it's all part of it. There's no success without ups and downs. No successful person today will tell you that, I became successful without any problems, without any struggles. That is never the case. You are going to be faced with obstacles. You are going to be faced with things that may deter you, that may hold you down or keep you from meeting that goal or that time frame that you set for yourself. You may not meet that time frame. You can reset your goals. You can reevaluate things and have a new time set, right? Have a new end goal and work towards that end goal. It's okay to keep working on your goals, to keep changing them and adjusting to the situation at hand. We got to make adjustments. If we want to get better and we want to see improvements in our lives or in our businesses, we have to make adjustments when it comes to our mindset, the situation that we face, everything that we are connected to. We have to make adjustments because life is happening every day. So as life is happening, we want to adjust to the times. We want to be able to adapt, but not only adapt, in the process of adapting, you want to get better and get bigger. So rich people, they are very outcome oriented. They want to see the outcome. They want to get to the end, right? So they will figure out how they can come up with the money, whatever they need, the resources. They take chances on themselves and they go for it. No matter the obstacles, they go for it because they believe that obstacles are part of the journey. For success to happen, you are to be faced with obstacles. No success is obstacle free. So that's what I want you to understand today. That's all I have for you here today. I want you to ponder on these points, these things that I talk about. And if you are doing some of these things, I want you to work on doing the opposite, doing what it is that's going to get you to be of a growth mindset, one, to be success oriented, to be outcome oriented and achieve your goals and your dreams. If you're not achieving your goals, you are doing something wrong. So what are you doing wrong? I want you to go back to the drawing board and work on that. Fix that problem. Fix that thing that is stopping you from achieving those goals. Work on you first. And then you will be able to work on your goals. You will be able to work on achieving and attaining things that you really want in your life. Okay? I know that whatever you set your mind to and you put the work in, it can be done. So thank you for connecting with me here today. It's been a pleasure. I'm super excited to bring this information to you, and I really hope and pray that you gain something from this and apply it to your lives and make the change that is so necessary for you to be successful and to be financially free and have a rich mindset, because we all need that, and I think we can all achieve it. Thank you so much for your time. Like I always say, I love to learn and grow with you. So thank you for connecting with me. I would love to hear your feedback in the comment section. Let's connect, let's grow, and let's get better together, okay? Have a blessed day. And remember, the stars are shining for you. Don't forget to subscribe. It's your girl here, Jimmy Diversified. Let's go ahead and get out there and make big things happen, because you can transform you and you can be a better version of yourself, okay? Thank you so much. Get out there and be great. Thanks for your time.